3, 2, 1.
It's Wednesday. Welcome to KSAT News Now. We have you covered on all the platforms, streaming, YouTubing, podcasting.
And everything in between. You're also on Instagram Live right now.
Yeah. I'm also over here. You can see my phone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We're live on Instagram.
Yeah, I like to, people are chiming in on your Instagram. Alyssa's mom, super producer Alyssa.
Super producer,
Yeah,
she did the flex behind the scenes.
She did.
She's ready.
She did, yeah. One of our biggest fans there. We appreciate everyone that's checking us out. Adam, one of our photojournalists, also on your Instagram. So yeah, there's several ways.
This morning. Man.
Several ways that you can get to us, but of course, we want to get to news. Yes,
yeah.
That's of course what we're here for, and a couple of stories we're talking about. Mm-hmm.
So one that has been just all over social media is, you've probably heard the explosions, simulated gunfire, and maybe even helicopters. We have the latest on the military training taking place downtown, and it has caused a lot of headaches, but it's for a greater cause. So we'll fill you in on what's going on.
You're right. There's a lot of people that have been talking about that. Also, some big news here. A Texas political showdown, when and where we may get to see a much anticipated debate between Governor Greg Abbott and challenger Beto O'Rourke.
And we're talking billions of dollars for chips. And no, it's not hot Cheetos. We'll explain what this funding means for you.
All right, but first of all, we start in Uvalde, where another heated discussion took place during yesterday's city council meeting, with families and other residents demanding officers to be placed on leave for their lack of action during the Robb Elementary shooting.
Yeah, so the group Uvalde Strong for Gun Safety handed out written complaints for locals to sign and delivered it to Uvalde City Manager, and it calls out the following 5 Uvalde police officers who were at the scene during that shooting. That's Eduardo Canales, Adrian Martinez, Paul Villa, Justin Mendoza, and Mariano Vargas.
So this letter states in part that, quote, the inactions of these officers in conjunction with other law enforcement departments directly resulted in further loss of life, and the nonchalant attitudes from these officers and the squandering of valuable time during this crisis were an egregious act of negligence, end quote.
Uvalde Police SWAT Commander Canales was one of the first officers to approach the door of the classroom. Acting Chief Lieutenant Vargas was in charge that day because Chief Daniel Rodriguez was out of town. So the letter alleges Vargas was instructed to make a command post to set that up. However, that did not happen. Vargas has been on administrative leave since mid-July.
So the mayor of Uvalde did announce weeks ago that there would be an independent internal investigation taking place. Meanwhile, last night, council members reiterated they must follow due process. And I guess that's what's, again, another thing here that's led to this length in time from the incident itself to where we are now.
Absolutely. And again, the big focus for accountability. And this time they're focusing with the officers. But again, it just goes to show that these families, one, are not giving up, and they want answers, and they want the people who did not, they say did not take care of these children to be out.
Right. And now that we've seen some of the body camera footage out there and heard things from the state, their investigative report as well, you could understand why these families are still demanding this and still showing up in droves to these meetings as well. Why it's still very emotional and sometimes a little bit contentious situation there. But these families taking action for their loved ones that they lost there.
Which we can remind our viewers and listeners here that that's why a media group, Uvalde Coalition, has gotten together to sue DPS because these records are needed, and this just goes to show. So we'll keep you updated on that. But now to Washington, where big money is going to make small chips, and we're not talking about potato chips. President Biden signed a $280 billion package that's called the CHIPS Act.
Okay, so why is this important to you and families across the country? Well, supporters say that this new law will bring down the prices of cars and electronics as more of these advanced chips are made right here in the United States.
Right now, there's a global shortage of semiconductor chips. That's led to worldwide delays in auto manufacturing, and U.S. is paying more for, and that leaves the U.S. paying more for these new cars.
Absolutely. So a lack of chips also means months of waiting times for new phones. We've seen major supply issues here, medical equipment as well, and of course parts for the defense industry. I found this interesting in doing a little bit of research for this, that right now in the moment, Taiwan produces nearly 90% of these semiconductor chips that are used around the world. So obviously that's a key issue there, especially when we're talking about these domestic supply issues here at home. We've heard a lot about delays in cars coming in and things of that nature. So hopefully this can kind of help out with that.
And it's just amazing to realize how one little thing has a trickle effect and affects, in this case, an auto industry, right? And having to pay more for these new cars, because I've seen the prices
too.
and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Even a used car right now.
Right.
I mean, everything, right?
Right, absolutely, yeah. So this will be something that we continue to follow here. But moving back here to Texas, we have some pretty big political news here. It appears that we will get to see Governor Greg Abbott and Democratic challenger Beto O'Rourke debate before this November's election.
So we know there's always a lot of tension between both parties, but did this surprise you?
Absolutely, yes it did.
I think everyone's in the same boat.
Right, I thought that, I didn't think Governor Abbott would agree to this, which again, this is kind of a tentative schedule for the moment.
But a lot is on the line. So right now the debate is scheduled for September 30th on the UT Rio Grande Valley campus in Edinburgh, but both candidates have to agree on specifics, and the location is key. I mean, UTRGV in Edinburgh, maybe a 15 minute drive from the border. Closest port of entry is going to be Hidalgo Reynosa. So to know that they're going to be that close, I mean, immigration is going to be
absolutely
key.
Yeah, and I believe that Beto O'Rourke wanted to do a couple different town style debates around different regions in the state, but obviously the border, that is probably, I would say, one of the most prioritized areas there. So, and we're talking about that. So Beto O'Rourke called for 3 town hall style debates, but Abbott's campaign says that this will be the only debate of the 2022 election for Texas governor.
And that's where it's concerning. Is that good or bad that this is going to be the only one? Because you can only cover so much in that given time slot. So we'll see. But there are other candidates on the ballot for governor, but this debate will focus on Abbott and O'Rourke, of course.
And it will be hosted and broadcasted by Nexstar Media Group, and this is in partnership with KSAT 12. Our Steve Spriester will be part of the panel of journalists involved in this debate, which of course will be televised and streamed online. I was also reading earlier that it will be available for Spanish-speaking stations as well.
Absolutely.
So you're going to get to see it from everywhere.
That is so important. And again, if you're going to an area like the Rio Grande Valley, where the majority of the population there does speak Spanish, has roots, I mean, that's very important. And another thing that I had read, that they will be taking questions directly from their constituents from both sides. So that'll be great. I mean, it's necessary.
Right. And I think you brought up a great point, because is one debate enough? Probably not, because we, again, don't know the specifics of how this is going to be done. Is it going to be a forum style debate? I think all those things are being ironed out by both campaigns, but I was surprised that Governor Abbott agreed to this, but he did debate the last Democratic challenger in 2018, that was Lupe Valdez. Now, I would say that Beto O'Rourke seems to be gaining a little bit more ground, so this one obviously I think is a little closer race than that one was in 2018.
And last point here, you see the completely different styles. We have seen that the candidate Beto O'Rourke is more casual in his approach, and rather Governor Greg Abbott has been very formal. So we will see what happens with that. But all right, here at home, if you live near downtown, maybe you've heard helicopters, loud explosions, maybe they've woken you up, kept you up. Well, it's all part of a controlled U.S. Army military training exercise. And today, it's starting much, much earlier.
All right, very important information here for people living in this area. So the training actually started on Monday and will continue every night through this Friday, but today it will be bumped up to noon, so a little bit from now. According to SAPD, they say that this is critical training for the U.S. military, and it consists of air and ground mobility operations and close quarter combat training in a realistic environment.
Very realistic, and while the training does not have direct contact with residents, some locals said that the simulations happened so close to their homes. One downtown area resident told KSAT she hid in her shower because she was unaware of the training, which is why these podcasts, our podcasts are just being in the know with local news is so important.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you're looking at us through the visual platforms, you may have just seen some video there of how low these choppers are actually flying in these neighborhoods. You mentioned a couple of these residents. One said that their house was shaking, but other residents have said that they've actually gone out there to see some of this training firsthand. So there's been that whole scene as well. So, and of course, these people saying that it has been more of an adrenaline rush than fear. Obviously, a big military community here in San Antonio. They've also been out there watching these events as well, and maybe kind of even explaining to some of the people living in those areas what exactly is going on, some of the training taking place.
Yeah, and Chief McManus has said, he gets that some people are not okay with this, or I guess, if you will, annoyed, but we're Military City USA, and these trainings are super important for them. So just know that it will be going on until Friday, and then today, Wednesday, they start at noon. So be aware of that.
Yeah, it's been mostly at night, so a little bit earlier start there. All right, bring in the one and only, the man. He doesn't want to be a myth yet. Doesn't want to be a myth yet.
Come
okay, there we
on
are.
in.
But he's already a legend.
Bring him out. Wow.
Hello.
It's
Okay.
Wow, I love that entrance.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like I should have
Need some
come in.
background
was good.
music.
You walk-up music, man, like
Look,
baseball.
You're so tall, they're cutting your head off.
You know what I
There we
mean?
go.
Like
I
when
know,
the batter
right?
comes out, bring a little.
Have your own song? I need to work on it.
Oh,
know
now
what
he
that
wants his own song. Does one
I'm
reel, wants
being
his own
super
song.
extra today. Okay, we got a question for you. So,
Okay.
spring is our first kind of rainy season, right? Now we're heading into the fall. We're hoping for our second rainy season. Start to get some fronts, we're hoping. So let's talk a little bit about thunderstorms. How high does a typical thunderstorm build? Choices are 100 to 200 feet, 800 to 10,000 feet, 30,000 to 40,000 feet, or 100,000 to 200,000 feet. A lot of numbers there.
How high?
What do you think? So when they build into the
Okay, I was
atmosphere.
going to say,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't even understand the question.
So when those thunderstorms grow way up into the atmosphere, how tall do they get, in other words?
Yeah.
Well, I learned something new. I didn't know that they...
So what I'm trying to sort of process is right now is that rain. That's coming from clouds? I mean,
right.
okay. He just did a
All right,
thing. He just did a thing that he always
Look
does.
at all the girls here just turned around. They're like, what did he?
No, but Justin just
Man,
gave me
I
a
thought-
response that he always gives me when we're just having
Okay.
fun here in the newsroom. But okay, so I'm thinking about clouds and the elevation of clouds. Do you want to guess?
I'm going to go with B.
Now that we've got that out of the way,
Man,
But
we need
with
to set up some
storms,
cameras for these
I know.
reactions.
This is fun.
That was hilarious.
B, what do you think, RJ?
You know what? We're going high or going home. Let's go D.
Okay, you guys are both wrong. 30,000 to 40,000 feet, that's a
Really?
typical thunderstorm. Yeah, now when you get your bigger, severe thunderstorms, they can grow up to 70,000 feet tall. Just to give you some
Oh,
perspective.
so we wouldn't even hit 100.
Yeah.
Boo.
Anyway,
But those clouds.
those clouds, man, they are producing some rain. That's good.
Magic.
87 right now, 87 in Kerrville, 89 LaGrange, 90 down there in Pleasanton. We're starting to get close to the 90-degree mark here in Bexar County. And so we're going to see those temperatures warm up very quickly. Heat index is already up above 90. It feels like 91 here in town. Feels like 93 in Helotes. Feels like 90 in Canyon Lake. And our KSAT 12-hour forecast. So yes, today is a hot day, but I've got good news for you. We're finally going to get some relief, I think, as early as tonight, but especially as we get into tomorrow and Friday. So let's walk you through the forecast here. 99 at 3 o'clock, still hot. As the kids got out of school today, still near 100. It feels hotter than that. Heat index could go as high as 105. But notice we've got a 10% chance of rain starting around dinner time, and we actually build that to a 30% chance by 8, 9, 10 o'clock. So we're going to watch some storms to the north. Some of those could work their way in, and that could give us some rainfall, and that's what we've been begging for, right? High pressure is moving far enough north now where we're on sort of the southern edge of it, and we've got flow out of the northeast. So a little disturbance here around Arkansas is going to work its way into South Texas, and this gives us our rain chances. So here's what our computer model is saying. We'll fast forward to 5 o'clock this evening, 1 or 2 showers, that's it. But watch what happens to the north. Some of these storms start to work south. By 9 o'clock, 30% chance of rain. Some of these storms can move through. Even as late as midnight to 2 a.m., we could see some showers around the area, maybe a rumble of thunder. Then as we get into tomorrow, a little bit of a lull early, but then with that energy coming through by the afternoon, we'll start to add in a 40% chance of rain. And then by the afternoon hours, there's a decent chance here. I'm not going to tell you that everyone's going to get rain because it's still going to be the hit or miss type activity, but this is the best chance we've had in a while. Go ahead and take the umbrella with you tomorrow just in case you do get into one of these downpours. We're not looking for severe weather, just hopefully some good rain in spots. And those rain chances continue tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, even into Sunday. There's a small chance. This is great, great news. And it's kind of ironic because we're heading into our statistically hottest time of the year, and here we are actually cooling down a little bit with some rain chances after what's been a brutal summer. So 30% chance late tonight, 100 today, 96 Thursday, 96 Friday, 95 Saturday with a 40% chance of rain, small chance Sunday, and then we're back in the heat by Monday and Tuesday. But this little reprieve, amazing. We have been searching for this, and we're excited to see it.
And you're right, because when the rain comes in, it at least kind of cools things down a little bit, even though temperature-wise, still somewhat similar, but the rain definitely cools things down.
Well, that's the thing. You know, we're saying 96, but let's say you get a downpour at your house, it could cool you down into the 80s if the rain falls. So,
hey.
It's those clouds, man. They're
Those
good.
clouds, RJ.
Those clouds keep producing that rain.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Justin.
Okay.
The
Hey,
clouds.
it might be a good day to maybe go out to the zoo.
Yes. I
would
have
be.
never, I've only done stories at the zoo, but never actually been to explore.
Yeah.
So maybe I will take advantage of this next thing. So for the majority, it's the last week of summer, and the San Antonio Zoo has you covered for some last minute fun. This week they're offering $10 tickets. Can you beat that? Probably not, unless you're a
No,
teacher.
definitely not. Definitely not. So we have a link to purchase this ticket on KSAT.com, but the code you need is SUMMER22. The reduced price is only valid on standard admission tickets, and the code can be used per one transaction, according to the zoo officials.
And teachers are also getting some love. August is also Teacher Appreciation Month at the San Antonio Zoo. So teachers get in for free and 50% off for up to 4 guests.
Yeah, teachers definitely take advantage of this because, once school starts up, and we've already seen it start in many districts here, things are going to get going. So this deal is only available at the gates, and teachers, of course, must bring a school ID badge or their teacher certification. All right, the details for both of these deals are on KSAT.com right now.
Who's your favorite zoo?
Timothy, my man,
the
Timothy.
hippo.
Shout out to Timothy the
And
hippo.
do you like his grandma?
Who's his grandma?
The grandma, I think it's the grandma, the one that's the other hippo that's in there with him.
Oh,
That's his
you know what? I've
Grams.
never had the pleasure of meeting the grandma.
She's right next to him. You can't miss her. She's literally in the same tank.
No, every time I've lucked out because every time I've been at the zoo, whether it's
Yeah?
for just to go visit or just for a different function,
To go visit
Timothy's
Timothy.
always been, hanging out in the pool, having a good time.
Where else
I like
would he
that
go?
hippo.
Hold on, where else would he go,
He
RJ?
could go to bed or go to sleep or just kind of call it a day, but he's been pretty good.
Call it a day. Oh, RJ's coming. Can't go to sleep now, Graham.
No, definitely not. Yeah, shout out Timothy and all the amazing animals and what they do there at the San Antonio Zoo.
I did learn this last time that I was at the zoo that he is like an international sensation.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
He's got a lot of social media followers. I
Maybe
think he
we
had a
can go do
girlfriend
a-
at one point at another zoo. So if
Oh,
he's
yes.
going
the
outside
love letters.
different area codes.
The love letters, yes. Yeah, okay, cool. Alyssa, super producer Alyssa, maybe we can do a show with Timothy?
Oh,
Live?
that'd be fun.
Live from the San
Okay,
Antonio
yeah,
Zoo?
get on that.
Let
yeah.
us know.
Tim Morrow, zoo CEO. Maybe we have to reach out to him and see what's up.
I think they'd be down.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right, you guys.
definitely.
Well, that does it for today. We will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Remember that if you live in the San Antonio downtown area, today the simulations for that military exercise start at noon.
Have a good one, y'all.